Hello, everybody. My name is Wally Smith. I'm at UVA-Wise, and I'll introduce or let Kevin introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Kevin Hammond. I'm in the Department of Fish and Wildlife Conservation at Virginia Tech.
And we are here today to do a couple of things. The first is to let y'all watch two middle-aged biologists try to figure out technology in real time, which should be a lot of fun. But number two, the most important reason that we're doing this video is to talk a little bit about a citizen science project that we've had going on for the last year or so here in Southwest Virginia. And we thought we would do this video because we know right now a lot of folks are at home, whether you're a college student that's stuck at home, you and your family possibly could be at home right now looking for things to do with your kids or for yourself, getting more familiar with wildlife. And we figured that this project would actually be great for that. It would be a really good exercise for folks to get out and learn some more about frogs. And also, as luck would have it, is World Frog Day. I just noticed a little bit earlier, so we'll pretend that we did this intentionally and schedule things that way. But what we're going to talk about is a project we've had with one particular species, the mountain chorus frog, which you can see here on your screen. But beyond that, there are actually a ton of frogs here in Southwest Virginia that a lot of folks maybe have never heard about. This is just one of those species. Some of the frogs possibly you are familiar with, maybe you have seen or heard of, things like the American bullfrog, which is calling in the summer. Spring peepers, which are calling right now. This is a perfect time of year to hear them peeping in some really large numbers and larger wetlands in the area. But depending on where you live in Southwest Virginia, whether it's Wise or Blacksburg or anywhere in between, you could have potentially upwards of 10 to 12, even 13 different frog species in and around where you live. So there's a huge amount of diversity here, and a lot of it kind of stays hidden and out of sight. And the mountain chorus frog is a wonderful example of that. This is kind of a relative of a spring peeper. If you have seen the spring peeper before, you may know that it has an X across the back. The species that you see here on your screen obviously doesn't. It kind of has more of like a reverse parentheses type pattern on the back, like an X that does not touch. But it is roughly the same size as a spring peeper, around the size of like a ping pong ball typically in size. And usually you're not going to hear them because they're very secretive, even if you know where they're calling and you can walk up to them. It can be tough unless things are really raucous when they're calling to actually see the individual frogs. And that's one of the reasons why we're doing this project. Before we started this, there were only about 14 to 15 known populations of this species in Southwest Virginia. And we really did not know much about it whatsoever. And so we were thinking about ways to improve the understanding of this animal, and citizen science, getting the public involved, really seemed like a great way to do that, because a lot of people may come across this species in their yard. Possibly if you have a farm, it could be calling at some of your flooded farm fields. Or if you're just out hiking or driving around, you may hear this as well. So it's a really good species to try to identify, to learn to identify. And that's really what this project is all about. And I think from there, I'll throw it over to Kevin, and he can talk a little bit about the website, the project itself that you're seeing on your screen.
Yeah, that's great. And just kind of echo what Wally said again, this is a great opportunity. If you have children that are no longer in school right now, this would be a great opportunity for them to go out and explore your yard, doing it in a very safe way so that they're distancing themselves from other folks, but just try to document what frogs are there. And one of the nice things about mountain chorus frogs is they will often call during the day as well. So in addition to doing a nighttime hike, you might even be able to hear them in the day. So we have on our website, if you go to the Learn More tab, the website is mountain chorus frog.fishwild.vt.edu. And under the Learn More tab, we have everything you want to know about the mountain chorus frog. There are links to the Virginia Herpetological Society's website where they have calls of all the frogs that are in the state of Virginia. So you can listen to the mountain chorus frog call and also listen to the spring peeper and the upland chorus frog, which sometimes folks will mistake the mountain chorus frog for one of those. And please, if you're unsure, send us your observation. On the website as well, we have a tab that will tell you how to report your observations. So you can use your phone, is great for that. If you have an iPhone, you can just use the voice memo app. You can shoot a video. Most of the time, the video is good enough quality that we can see the habitat in addition to the call. So document those. Just had an email this morning from someone that thought they had a mountain chorus frog. It ended up being a spring peeper, but still, we would love that information, and we would definitely don't want to take the risk of missing an observation because someone is unsure of themselves. So the mountain chorus frog call sounds like a squeaky wheel, and it basically is everywhere on the same spot on that axle. Every time it gets to that location, it makes the noise. So I can play a call for you. There's a couple of spring peepers in the background, but that kind of general wonk wonk noise that we're hearing is the mountain chorus frog. Here you can hear it without the peepers in the background. And again, you've got an opportunity maybe even to hear these during the day, especially days like yesterday where we had warmer temperatures and the front was moving in. You could just kind of feel the humidity jumping up. But we've got range maps. The Virginia map is growing, as Wally said, with our new information. These are some locations to look for. Typically, this frog is not in large ponds or farm ponds. They prefer ditches. They prefer tire ruts, areas that are holding water. A flooded field could potentially be an option. And I know, Wally, your area in Wise, you have not had them using ponds very often, have you?
No, not in large wetlands very much. We mostly get spring peepers, some really large numbers of spring peepers in the larger ponds, especially natural wetlands. But like Kevin was saying, any kind of flooded ditch or tire ruts or something in an old road is wonderful. And if you're in the Coalfield counties, parts of Lee County, Wise County, Dickinson, Buchanan County, anywhere where you've got gas well infrastructure, the big berms that they have around gas well pads, those tend to hold standing water as well. We're finding that those can just be overrun with these in the spring also. So think small, kind of think shallow. That's usually the best spot in our neck of the woods, especially the far southwest corner of the state. And any pond like that, any wetland that's pretty small could possibly have them.
Another option too with your students as they're home, if you do find one on your property, go to it weekly and take a photo and send us some pictures, because we are also interested to see, they're in these shallow ditches, and if we go through dry periods, those ditches could dry up before the tadpoles have a chance to mature. So it would be interesting to see, some weekly photographs of some of these locations over the course of the spring and early summer to see how well they're doing. But again, if you hear one, please, we've got all the information on the website, how to report that information to us. We also have information about the spring peeper and the upland chorus frog. So take a look at it, listen to those calls. But if you're unsure, please submit the information to us. Wally and our contact information is available. So feel free to send us an email. Calling us right now might be a little challenging because we're probably not going to be in our offices as much with social distancing, but please do shoot us an email, and we would love your observations. You are helping the conservation of this animal. And not only with this project, we also working on a green salamander project, and without citizen scientists, really the data we would have on these two animals would not be anywhere to what it is now. So we owe you greatly, and we appreciate your participation.
Yeah, and I'll just echo what Kevin said. He was talking about a great activity with kids to track a pond throughout the summer, the spring and the summer. If you go to that website he mentioned earlier, the Virginia Herpetological Society website, if you Google that, and you can actually see it on this website that we had up earlier, we've got a link to it. That is a wonderful site to go to for other frogs as well. You may hear stuff that's not mountain chorus frogs. And a great activity if you have kids at home is to track that pond and listen, weekly or every night, possibly during the spring. And you'll actually hear, in some cases, the type of frogs that are there, the species, kind of shift as you go through the seasoning. You'll see some become more abundant. You'll see some disappear. You'll see some show up. So a great way. That's a wonderful resource to let students learn, and then also to take that out into the field and actually do some experiential learning in the field as well. So you're not stuck at home and you're not stuck indoors doing some of your learning activities. So do you think of anything else, Kevin? I think that just about covers the project.
It is. Again, to echo everything Wally said, thank you for helping us. We appreciate your observations. And really right now it has begun. The last several days and nights have been quite busy. So especially those of you in the western area, you might continue to hear mountain chorus frogs into June. Those of us closer to the New River, we're probably going to go through mid-April. So be alert. If you're driving and your window might happen to roll down, you might pass a ditch full of mountain chorus frogs. So make a mental note as to where you heard those and let us know. We'll appreciate your help.